All right, I'm Eric. I'm here with Blue Food, or as we now call it, Blue Food Fish and Greens. And my teammates are here also, the other Eric, Farmer Eric. We have Allie, we have Phil in the back. And we're going to talk to you about a problem and an equation that we like a lot. And this equation is fish plus greens equals cash money. We believe that growing these two things together here in Minneapolis is a great way for us to make money, do some social good, and sustain our business. So I want to talk to you about these two things, fish and greens. And we're going to see how the status quo is, what the market is for fish and greens, lettuce, herbs, things like that right now. So fish. Let's say you like to eat fish. You have a choice. You can do two things. You can buy cheap fish. You can buy fish from the oceans that's overstocked, or that understocked, you're depleting the amount of fish and depleting the amount of fish in the ocean. Or if you're more ethically based, you can buy more expensive fish. You can buy fish that's grown in Costa Rica, in Alaska, in Japan, that's flown here. And then you worry about the climate impacts. What are we doing, flying fish in from all over the world? And no matter what you do, you're wondering, is this fish safe for me? Is this fish safe for my kid? Am I giving my kid mercury poisoning, feeding this kid fish? You don't know. That's the status quo in fish right now. Greens. Let's say you want to eat lettuce. You have two choices again. The affordable choice is to eat lettuce grown on an irrigated desert in Arizona, right? Does that make sense? This kind of thing here, just these circles of lettuce. And if you don't want to do that, you want to eat something more healthy and more local, you can buy lettuce that's grown here in Minnesota, and it's fresh all of 3 months of the year. And in the other 9 months, your choice goes away, and you're back to buying this imported desert lettuce. So there's really no great option, there's no perfect option, but we have another choice. And that choice is something that's done here, it's done locally, it's done year-round, and the word for that is aquaponics. And aquaponics is a funny word, it comes from two different funny words. The first word is aquaculture, which actually is the idea of growing fish in a contained environment, a contained tank. And it has its own problems, actually. But the other word we're going to look at is hydroponics, which is more common. We all know hydroponics is growing plants in water indoors. So aquaponics and hydroponics together give us aquaponics. And that's what we're talking about today. So what on earth does this mean, aquaponics? Well, here is a picture. Here's a diagram of what the basic idea behind aquaponics. It's a symbiotic relationship between how plants grow and how fish grow. So you have a tank of water with fish in it, and the fish eat and the fish poop, and it leaves a bunch of junk in the water, which is bad for the fish. But that same junk is good for the plants. So a cycle of water running through the system constantly is going to take nutrients from here and put the nutrients here. The fish are healthier, the plants are healthier. The plants kind of clean and recycle the water goes back to the fish. It's a closed cycle, it's energy efficient, it's water efficient, and these two things grow together, and you can bring them both to market. So to make it more visible in a picture sort of way, here is a medium-sized aquaponics plant somewhere. So this is, in here we have some, the tanks with potentially, tilapia or trout in them. And back here, this is lettuce that's growing along with the same water that the fish are growing in, all together, indoors, year-round. All right, so this is an established idea. It can be done. It's done all over the country. It's not really done here very much. Let's say we do it here. Who's buying this stuff? This is our first buyer. This is a real person. Her name is Beth Jones. She's a local chef at Campus Club. She has been a leader of the Minneapolis food scene for years. She's run restaurants all over the city for years and years and years. We called her up and we said, you're a good chef because you use good local ingredients. Where do you get your fish right now? And she says she doesn't. She has no way of getting fresh fish locally sourced. It just doesn't exist here. And she said, if you guys can make this, I want to buy 12 pounds a week from you, right? And she's the first person we called. There's lots of people in the city who care about good food and who want to buy local food if they can get it. And right now, it's really tough. That's our first buyer, the category of restaurants. Second is families, all right? So we have families all over the city who care about health. They care about the health of their children. They care about, I want my kids to eat good food. I want them to not have toxins in it. They care about the health of the environment. They care about, the way they live and the impact it has on the community and the impact it has on global warming in the world. Families like this in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and all over Minnesota, these are the people who make farmers markets so crowded on Saturday mornings. People like this. So I think these two groups, families, restaurants, are enough to get us started, but there's more besides that in the future. We can look at groceries, we can look at co-ops, we can look at business cafeterias, we can look at schools and colleges. There's plenty of buyers who are interested in affordable, all year round available food. So, is it real? Is it worth it? Can we make some money? And that's a question that's tough to answer. Because aquaponics, it's not a new idea, but it's not a standardized idea. So everyone doing this does it a little bit differently, and it's hard to pull numbers and decide whether you're making money or not. So one thing we looked at was a study done at MIT. So this is a student who did her master's in landscape architecture at MIT, analyzing one of the bigger aquaponics groups in the country, which is actually Milwaukee. So it's a similar sort of climate that we have here. They looked at the numbers. What does it cost to build this stuff, to maintain it? What do you get out when you sell this stuff? And here's what we found. So kind of as a standard benchmark system, we're going to talk about a 750-gallon tank, which is maybe 10 to 15 bathtubs. So let's start with that. What does it cost to build? You need to buy some tanks and some piping and some fluorescent lights. It's all stuff you can get at Home Depot or the local supply store. It's not fancy. It costs about $3,000 for this, like one-car garage type setup, that kind of size. To run it, it costs more. You're paying for rent in your garage, your warehouse. You're paying for energy costs because it's tilapia love tanks that are 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so you want to heat the water. You're paying for fish stock and food. You're paying for taxes. We're paying for labor. We want to pay ourselves to work this place because we don't want to work for free. And it costs about $16,000 for a year to get this stuff growing. In a year, what do you make? You're going to sell perch. You're going to sell lettuce. We can do different herbs, different fish. Roughly, this is the market price right now for good quality food. We called it Beth again. What do you pay for fish? 16 bucks a pound. We think ours is going to be better than that because it's we can give live fish that's never been frozen. Lettuce like this, we can make $18,000 a year. And no one starts a business because they can make $1,500 a year. If you want to make $1,500 a year, open a lemonade stand, right? This isn't great, but we can scale. This is what we make out of a unit of size about the size of a VW Bug. If you want to scale, you can get a warehouse. You can get thousands of square feet. It just gets cheaper the bigger you scale up. People doing this and making money have big operations, and there is a market to sustain that. So why are we here? We're here because we're a team that's been existing for a while. We won the Akara Challenge last year and tested this idea for food safety in India. And we asked, is this idea going to hold up? And we found two things. We had an okay idea that worked okay in India, but we had a really, really good team. And what we're doing now is we're trying to find a great idea to match our great team. And so there's 4 of us in the room right now, Ali, Phil, Eric, and Communist Eric. And what we're doing is we're trying to find a business that matches our specific skills. Between the 4 of us, we literally are farmers. We are environmental engineers who do water quality. We are marketers. We know how to sell things. We know how to build these systems and actually create them from scratch. This is a project that fits us. This is a business model that works all over the country. Can we do it here? Can we make it work? So we're here, what we want to be doing is in 2013, in our spare time in the summer, doing a pilot study, building this out and seeing if we can make it work. So we'd love for you access to your networks, your connections, to see if we can get some money for a pilot study. And we're gonna take Minneapolis by storm with some fresh fish and some good greens. Thank you very much.